Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you? So, in today's discussion, we'll discuss about the artificial intelligence in the modern football and in the modern games. You know that after the time of pandemic situation in the year 2022, the whole world has been changed day by day without any kind of rituals, without any kind of rules and regulations, because the essence of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, AI, Gemini, Gamma Flex, and hundreds of artificial intelligence websites. So I think that as a sports lover, I will discuss about the advantage and disadvantage of the artificial intelligence in the modern games, more particularly in the football. You know that after 20 or 25 days later, there will be the biggest world class game, the World Cup FIFA 2026, will be held on in USA, and this is after the commencement of artificial intelligence in the year 2022 or 2023. So I think that most of the sports lover, they have predicted that in the world stage, in the world class stage, FIFA will use the artificial intelligence for the development procedure of sports and sports related game in the modern technology. But I think that if you use the artificial intelligence directly in football games or football related games, that can be affect vehemently. The first reason is that this is the first game in which a discussion artificial intelligence will be used in the future time. So there can be arise some of the problems, basic problems. The first problem is that there are not more than the expertise, the lacking of expert in artificial intelligence, that is actually so much cautious and sorrowful for our FIFA, because FIFA has 17 constructive rules, and by these rules FIFA is ongoing to make a very good game in every game of world class or world cup related games. But I think that as a sports lover, in the year 2010 and after 2014, 2018, even 2022, there is used the VAR system in FIFA. But I think that in that situation, in that stage, the fan, for the football fan, they will be more expertise than the referee, than the authority, even the football player also, because football is actually a 90 minutes game, and in that game the most of the people, they are using lots of technologies, individual technologies, private technologies, to see that it is a offside or not, it is a goal or not. Even if I can make a very good advantage on the basis of three perspective. The first perspective as a coach, the second perspective as a footballer, the third perspective as a fan. So as a coach can usually use the artificial intelligence in different types of situation. For example, before 2 or 3 days ago of a game, a coach usually make a squad. So by using the artificial intelligence with a very short time, the coach can manage 11 footballers, 11 effective and experienced footballer for the desired game. The second reason is that court can easily seek the limitations, seek the problems of the footballer by using the artificial intelligence. And even one of the research said that in the sport related games, artificial intelligence is actually giving more than 90% authentic result. So in that perspective, the coach, they can usually get huge amount of responsibility in the soccer game. So the second region is actually for the footballer. The footballer usually, he can make a very good description over the 90 minutes qualification, 90 minutes skills, which has been done by himself in the previous game. So this is on kind of self assessment. So self assessment is on kind of way whether people usually gauge his limitation, gauge his good experience. Even people usually get his strong point and what should I say, and vulnerable point by using the artificial intelligence as a footballer. The third region is actually more interesting because I'm a fan and I'm a cool of Barcelona. From this perspective, the football fan, they usually use the artificial intelligence to make it possible, to make it possible the goal, to make it possible the upside, to make it possible the inside, even by artificial intelligence in the field and outside the field, the fan, they can initiate many types of responsibility in initiating the different kinds of tactics in the football games. So I think that in the upcoming session, upcoming season, it will be so much effective for the footballer, for the fan, even for the coach. Not only for the coach but also for the authority. Also, they will hire the best figure of sports in their upcoming game. So by this way, this is the advantage of the artificial intelligence in the football game. But this is not my last discussion. There are another discussion. What are the disadvantages of the artificial intelligence in the present day? The first reason is that artificial intelligence, it is not never covered the human intelligence. So from this perspective, artificial intelligence has lots of limitations, lots of disadvantages. Even artificial intelligence has lots of limitations also. In that perspective, it will not provide the 100% authentic result in examining the goal, in examining the upside, even in examining the choosing of player. So from this perspective, it is actually a bad deal for the authority, for the law enforcement agencies, including the football fan also. The second reason is that artificial intelligence, most of the time, they are providing huge types of wrong information, which is actually against the philosophy of football, against the philosophy of World Cup. Even sometimes artificial intelligence is given some of the responsibilities, some of the authentic results, which has no types of single affiliation with the authentic result. So this is the core problem of the artificial intelligence in the present days. So even you can't solely based on the artificial intelligence unless you will not use your human brain also. So one of the sports technologist on said that if you use the artificial intelligence 50% and if you use your human brain 50%, then at least you can get the 95 to 99% authentic result in relation of the football related games in the future time. So what was the actual problem? The basic problem that I have already discussed in my previous discussion. But I think that in the upcoming big game there can be ongoing some of the basic problems related to the goals, related to the upside also. For example, there are some of the diehard fan in the football arena, not only in the football arena but also in the different kinds of essential arena. But whenever in the football game, referee is actually everything. Referee has lots of power, referee has executive power to declare anything against the party or against the human brain also. So whenever sometimes human brain is not 100% providing a wrong sophisticated information, so sometimes can be problems, sometimes can there can be limitations, ongoing limitations. So in that time, people can usually criticize the referee, first referee, second referee, third referee, even the match referee, TV referee. So in that perspective, what will be your authentic activity? So in that time, the diehard fan, they usually make a result by using the artificial intelligence, and before taking decisions of the referee, these types of football fan, they will already given their decisions on the basis of artificial intelligence or using the artificial intelligence. So it will create the basic problems in the future games. So from this perspective, as I advocate my request to FIFA and the authority of the FIFA to use some of the rules related to the artificial intelligence, that particularly says that the ethical use of artificial intelligence. So what will be the God sense whether people will use the ethical use of artificial intelligence? The first result is that as far as it possible, artificial intelligence in the time, it will give the authentic information, authentic data, authentic biometric signature, authentic footmark of the players in the during the time of game. The second reason is that whenever people will use the artificial intelligence beside the human brain, it will so much effective for the footballer, for the law enforcement agencies, even for the authority also. Even that in La Liga and in the Arab League games, most of the time they usually use the artificial intelligence in the common game very recently, within 2 or 3 months ago. So FIFA can actually take the help of those persons for giving the 100% result by using the artificial intelligence and human brain gradually. But despite lots of advantages, I think that there will arise some of the basic problems than the previous games. So without any kind of dilemma, the future game, it will be so much colorful, it will be effective, even it will be full of intelligence, whether than the referee, than the authority, even than the match referee, the fan. Actually, they will be the highest referee, they will be the executive authority, they will be the authentic information holder in the upcoming football fanatic function in the year 2026. So however, there sometimes can happen anytime, but this football is actually game, and we have to remind that the football is calm actually, in spite of war, in spite of bloodshed. So I think that we should never use these types of fanatic based behavior, which actually decolorize the behavior of the football, which actually demoralize the authenticity of the football game, and which actually violate the environment of the football game. So even one of the philosophers, Bengali philosophers, says that বিজ্ঞান মানুষকে দিয়েছে বেগ, কেড়ে নিয়েছে আবেগ. So with a human being, we have lots of problems in our hand, and it can also be applied in the football game. So while I'm talking about the artificial intelligence used in football, in that time I have to also talk about the in different games how artificial intelligence is providing the authentic information. For example, before 2 or 3 months ago, there was happened the Ashes games. Ashes is the biggest game in the cricket arena. Even in the Wimbledon championship of tennis, there also used the artificial intelligence for getting the highest result by using these types of technology. So I usually say that technology give you everything, but it will not give you the skills, experience, and authentic result. So as a human being, we have lots of limitations and problem, but we have to believe that if we use the artificial intelligence for our common development, there can arise some of the basic problems. So meanwhile, during the time of football game, we should sober, we have to remind, we have to follow the directions of the referee, because I have already mentioned referee is actually everything, and we have been practicing these types of calls of referee since the commencement of football in the year 1930. And it is said that in a football game, referee is everything. The people, the player, the fan, even the authority, they are bound for negotiating the calls of the referee. Even referee's call is actually final. So I'm not the fanatic football lover, but I'm a actually football lover. From this perspective, I think that in that legal practice as an advocate, I should clarify this issue behind the game. So after 20 days later, there will be a very ongoing colorful game for the fanatic football fan base. So in the time, we will observe our team, we will observe our player, even we will observe our beautiful team also. Even that there are also, we have seen lots of incidents whenever people are using the artificial intelligence by defamation of the player, by making the naked picture of the footballer, by using the obscene picture of the footballer. So this is actually unconstitutional, this is actually unconventional. Even these are not follow the conventional and customary ways of football fanaticism in the modern history. So thank you all for having with me for more than 10 minutes. Assalamu alaikum.